So I have to re-record this video because I didn't have the audio working properly last time. Quick disclaimer before we get into the video. 1, this video is about vocal health. 2, yes, this video is being shot on a phone, and yes, this video is not going to be very edited. Reason for that being the fact that my summer is very busy, and I don't really want to go too in depth about that for sake of privacy, but I don't really want to take a bunch of time to sit down at a computer, not only to record, but also to edit this. And besides, this video doesn't really need many examples or many screaming things, so I should be able to just talk my way through this, and I hope that you guys listen. Second disclaimer really quickly, this video is not going to be very visually entertaining. So I would recommend that you get the thing done that you're procrastinating getting done while listening to this video, and listen to how important taking vocal health seriously is while you're doing whatever you need to get done. Think of it as like a podcast. This video is a podcast. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's get right into it. I have 4 things I want to talk about with vocal health. That being, I want to talk about practicing with vocal health. I want to talk about water with vocal health. I want to talk about vocal rest with vocal health. And I want to be talking about body health with vocal health. So let's get right into it. Practicing vocal health. What do I mean by that? I mean, first and foremost, when you go to practice vocals, you warm up. Understand what a proper warm-up is. When I started doing vocals, I didn't really know what a proper warm-up is. I didn't really research that. And so I kind of just went straight into it, and I could have easily hurt myself doing that. In fact, I did hurt myself doing that. Understanding what a proper warm-up is and being able to go into your screams with a proper warm-up is not only going to help your screams to sound better, feel better, channel better, but it's going to protect your voice and your entire larynx. Okay? For all of you people that work out or did work out in the past, think about it like a muscle. All right? Imagine you go to do something. For me, I mean, I lift weights. So imagine going for a bench. Imagine going directly into your working set for bench. Not a good idea. What do you do first? You warm up. You do a mobility, then you do 2 warm-up sets, and you go into it when the muscle group is warmed up. So, same thing with your voice. You don't go straight into it. You slowly work up to it. You work your breath support muscles, getting those expanded and stretched. Then you slowly warm up your voice. Then you slowly warm up whatever fold set you're using, whatever scream bases you're using. Okay? So that's very important. Second thing to talk about with practice, understanding what your voice is telling you. Your voice can tell you, hey, that wasn't good what you just did. That wasn't good. How does your voice tell you that? It hurts. One of the biggest things that you can listen to is pain. If you are being told by your voice that something's bad, you're going to know because your voice is going to say, hey, that hurt. And your logical response should be, okay, let's figure this out. So how do you figure it out? What's the one thing you do? It's this. You take a step back. You say, what did I do wrong? If you don't know what you did wrong, you work your bass scream. What do I mean by a bass scream? I mean for false, like take false chord for example. You take your pitch, you add your false folds onto that. Very basic scream. The one thing that you work toward when you were a beginner. Or if you are a beginner and your bass scream hurts, you're not working toward the right thing. And I would recommend watching a couple other videos talking about how to activate your false chord screams or your fry screams to get more ideas about how you can do it. But if something hurts, especially if you're doing something like, say, gutturals, okay? If your gutturals hurt, go to your bass scream. Figure out if your bass scream hurts. If your bass scream hurts, you're doing something wrong with your bass scream. You need to go figure that out because your bass scream isn't good. And any other type of scream that you do is made off your bass scream. Whether it's false chord or fry, you have your fry bass, your false chord bass. Any sound you make is based off that. That's why I call it your bass scream. Like you go for a high, it's bass scream, wide, up the larynx a bit. You go for low, lower the larynx a bit. You go for a guttural, move your tongue around. Like all these things are simply shaped in the mouth and with the tongue. There's really no much difference happening over here, okay? That's the first thing to keep in mind. If it hurts, go to your bass scream, figure out if that hurts. Because if that hurts, then the entire thing is just messed up. And if that doesn't hurt, then you were just doing something differently when you were practicing the technique. So figure out, maybe I use too much air support. Maybe I use too much constriction. And that can affect how you actually go forth with your practice. So that's how to keep good vocal health with practicing. Understand warm-ups and warm-downs, and understand how to actually approach practicing. For me, how I approach practicing is I have what I call guided sections and unguided sections. The beginning of my practice is a guided section, okay? So after I warm up, I work certain techniques, whether I work gutturals, high screams, whatever I do, tunnels. I work that, holding out the sound, getting used to that, moving from a mid scream to whatever I'm doing to shape it properly. Then I have my unguided section, which is where I just scream along the songs. However, after each song and during each song, if I have like a long break, I assess how I'm feeling, not just my overall body. Am I out of breath? Am I getting tired? Am I sweating like too much? Because if you're sweating too much, that can be a sign that you're putting a little too much of your body into it. And I assess how my voice is feeling. Is my voice feeling tired? Is it feeling sore? What's going on? Is it feeling good? If it feels good, yay. Oftentimes it does feel good. That's very important. Having those sections where you're kind of just screaming. You're not really forcing yourself to pay attention to it too much. You're kind of just screaming. And then after a bit, you say, okay, so what was going on? Is there anything bad? Is there anything good? Having those guided and unguided sections for me has been shown to give me a lot of progress quickly, because not only am I allowing myself to work certain techniques, but I'm allowing myself to have fun as well. Typically, my unguided sections take up more time in my screaming practice, just because I like jamming in that sense, where I just get to throw on like Demolisher in the background and try to scream along to it, which it doesn't sound anything like Alex's screams, but you know what? Who can sound like him? So practicing, understand how you can have emphasis on your vocal health with that, be it warming up properly, warming down properly, and understanding what that means. That's one of the biggest things that you can do, is simply understanding what vocal warm-ups and warm-downs work for you, but more so, what is a warm-up? What are you doing? And there are excellent videos that talk about that, and I think I'm going to make a video like that in the future. So look out for that one. But then understanding how to orient your practice and overall just what you're doing in your practice, how you feel during your practice is very important. Second thing I want to talk about is water. Okay, I made a short like this. It was, what is the biggest tool in a vocalist toolbox? It's a cup of water. Legitimately, one of the most quintessential elements to vocal health. In fact, my favorite element of vocal health is water. Water is so extremely important because water is what lubricates everything in your larynx. Now, why does your larynx need to be lubricated? Well, that's kind of how it works. Every single thing in your larynx, for it to create a sound, there needs to be vibration and there needs to be breath support. Breath support is breath. That's air. That's simple. You don't really need water for that. But for the vibration, if you don't want to mess up your voice, you need water. You need to lubricate that. It's kind of like an engine. If you don't want to wear a car out, and if you don't want it to stop working, you need to put oil in it. And if you don't have the oil, then the engine is going to get burnt out and it's just going to fail. Same thing with your voice. Now, contrary to popular belief, when you drink water, the water doesn't run over your vocal folds and your false folds and all that stuff, all that good stuff. You actually, in case you missed this section of anatomy, you have two separate elements to your throat. You have your larynx and you have your pharynx. I think I have the terms correct, but just bear with me if I don't. Your larynx is the section which has all of your vocal stuff, all the different folds you use to create sound. And your pharynx is your food tube. It's your water tube. So the water goes down your pharynx, not your larynx. So you don't directly hydrate anything with your larynx. You indirectly hydrate it like how you do with the rest of your body. So you can't just drink a cup of water and be like, all right, I'm good. No, you have to keep good hydration throughout the entire thing. Whatever you're doing, be it performance, be it just a day. Keep good hydration. Place heavy emphasis on hydration. Now, what's the third thing we can cover? Vocal rest. Vocal rest is so important. Going back to the muscles example, if you go to the gym, you hit arms and back, or if you like run for an hour straight on the treadmill, okay? And then you just put yourself through rigorous things throughout the entire day. You don't give yourself time to rest. You wake up the next day, you're not going to be ready to do it again the next day. Why? Because your body hasn't adapted to that. Your body hasn't had time to rest. It hasn't had time to recuperate from all the activity you just put it through. Same thing with your voice. Your voice needs rest after you exercise it, after you use it. So give yourself vocal rest. What I typically do, depending on the session, how long my practice can be, because if it's just a quick practice, you don't need to do as much, but the longer your practice gets, the longer you want to rest your voice. I typically rest my voice for a minimum of, 30 minutes. And I think the max I've done has been about 3 hours. This is not counting sleep. Sleep, of course, is good vocal rest, but your body isn't as active during sleep and as like good at repairing anything during sleep. So, no. Sleep does not count as vocal rest. That counts as rest in general, which is very important. But you do want to have time segmented out of your day to not really talk to anyone and to just be silent to give yourself vocal rest. That being said, sleep is an excellent thing. And of course, do not get bad sleep. If you want to do vocals, you need to be sleeping properly. And this is something that I really need to get back on because it's summer. And while, yeah, I'll maybe sleep till like 8, going to bed at 10 for me, 10, 11, 12. I'm a morning person, so I don't like that. And my body doesn't like that. But anyway, let's keep going. Vocal rest is very important, and that's something that you need to place high emphasis on with regards to your screams, okay? Next thing we need to talk about. In fact, the last thing we need to talk about, and I cut this video. I'm sorry I've been talking fast. I've been trying to cut this video down to less than like 15 minutes or less than 20 minutes because I don't want it to be too long. But vocal body connection. I think that's what I should call this. The vocal body connection. Okay? How you treat yourself is how you treat your voice. Physically, mentally, spiritually. If that's your cup of tea, it's mine. Like, how you do these things will affect your vocals. If I fall off with my physical exercise, if I fall off with my mental health, if I fall off with my reading my Bible, I can find that my vocals suffer too. Because how you treat your body is how you treat your voice. One of the things that David Benitez said to me in the lesson that I had with him, by the way, Extreme Vocal Institute, go check the channel out. It's amazing. David said to me, if there's tension in your body, there's tension in your neck, and there's tension in your voice, which isn't good. Same thing goes for health. If your body's unhealthy, your voice is unhealthy. Now, health looks different for each and every one of us, but to some degree there is an, that's better brightness. To some degree there is an objective standard to health. That objective standard being, well, are you getting exercise that's going to especially work your heart? Because cardio is important for vocals because you need to have good breath support. And then are you taking care of yourself, eating good food, not putting bad things into your body? Because a body, like a car, you put bad grade fuel into a car, the car ain't going to run well. Are you taking care of your sleep schedule? Are you taking care of your mental health? Because that can really affect your screams too. Are you taking care of your spiritual health? Like, these things are so very important for your voice. Your mind and your body are connected. Your body and your voice are connected more so. You can't neglect yourself in favor of your voice, because if you neglect yourself, you neglect your voice. Understood? Good. So why am I saying this? Well, vocal health is the most quintessential thing to vocals for any person, legitimately. Vocals are kind of harsh on your voice. No matter what you do, singing, screaming, your voice is so resilient, yet so brittle. You can put it through so much, but one thing, and it's done. Just one thing, and it's over. You develop a node, you develop a polyp. Like, these things are so important because your vocal health is so important. If you want to have a good long run in your vocal career, you need to emphasize taking care of your voice. So vocal health is very important. And it's one of the things that I place greatest importance on with my vocals. My entire lesson that I had with David Benitez was simply to say, hey, am I hurting myself? Am I slowly destroying my voice? What can I do to if I'm doing anything bad? David helped me with that greatly. So one of the biggest encouragements I can give to anybody who's in the vocal community is place the most importance on anything on health. Because when we take care of ourselves, we can go for longer. So if you take care of your voice, you can use it for a longer period of time. And I want each and every single one of you to be able to use your voice to sing, to scream, whatever you do, to even talk for as much as you can. So please, take your vocal health seriously. If you guys want to see a video where I talk about my full vocal journey, let me know in the comments, and I might be able to make that video. Let me know any other video suggestions you have in the comments. And have fun screams. Scream on. May the Lord direct all that paths. Thank you for watching. See ya.